Okay, so now that we understand that a properly designed whole life insurance policy is extremely flexible, and once that cash value is set up and contributed to a policy, we have all kinds of guaranteed growth and advantages to having that in cash value. So we're seeing why the wealthy and big banks and corporations love storing their cash inside the cash value component of a life insurance contract. But now that it's actually in our policy, how are we using the money? We hear this word liquidity being thrown around, but how are we actually able to access what's in our policy? Because we don't want to have the same thing happen like happens in our 401k or our IRA where we can't touch the money. Let's pretend for a moment that we have $100,000 we've contributed to this policy. Well, what's happening when we have money in this policy? Most importantly, we know we're getting a guaranteed rate of anywhere from 4 to 6% growth, no matter what, on that entire $100,000, compounding every single year. So if we wanted to access that money, the worst thing that you could do for a large lump sum of money, that's any kind of money, that's growing compoundingly is what? To withdraw it. So if you were to just take out $25K, you've now dropped your policy down to $75,000 and you're losing out on all that compounding interest you could have been gaining if you left it in there, right? So very painful to lose out on the compounding interest on an account. So the strategy that our clients use, and the reason why this is so popular with businesses, investors, and people that want liquidity with their money, is because the insurance company offers a very interesting and unique solution. Now remember, when we set up this policy with an insurance company, what was the agreement? You were going to pay them money, and in turn, they were going to give us coverage, or basically a death benefit. So they know that they have to pay you this death benefit at some point when you pass away. It could be next year, it could be 50 years from now. So what they say is, instead of you going in and withdrawing from this policy and interrupting the compounding growth, they say, you know what, we'll lend you the money because, look, we have to pay you at some point anyway. We know you're good for it because you've already got the cash value in there. We'll give you a loan for any amount you want up to the cash value amount that's in your policy, usually up to about 90%. So instead of withdrawing and affecting all the compounding interest on your account, the insurance company says, why don't you come to us, take a loan out. We're going to charge you a simple loan interest rate to access whatever amount of money you want out of the policy. So let's say an opportunity comes up and you need $25,000. Instead of having to withdraw it, you can take a loan out, and you're taking it out of the insurance's common fund. And what happens? Your entire lump sum here, the $100,000, all stays intact and continues to compound. So you almost get to use your money in two places at once, even though the money you're taking out over here is technically in a loan, and so it's not really your money, but it doesn't get recognized against your entire cash value. So because of that, yes, there's going to be a cost. There's a simple interest rate that gets charged. It varies per company, but again, simple interest, much more advantageous than compounding interest. So remember, you're gaining compounding interest. You're getting paid compounding interest over here, and you're going to be paying back simple interest over here. So over the long run, this is much more advantageous to pay simple interest and access the funds because you want to keep getting the compound interest like we talked about in previous videos. The other piece of this is you get to set the terms on your own, however you want. Again, the insurance company recognizes that they have to pay you at some point for that death benefit. So they say, you know what? You can pay us any way you want, and you don't even have to pay us back if you don't want to, because we're going to charge you this interest rate. It's usually between 4 and 6% simple. Again, much less than compounding. And we know that we have to pay you at some point. So if you just want to take this money out and never pay us back, that's perfectly okay. We're just going to let this simple interest keep accruing. And then when we go to pay you out the death benefit, we're just going to subtract whatever you owe us from what we need to pay you. So it works like a cash out refinance or a line of credit out of your house, where you get to access the cash, but the total value of your account never gets interrupted. So you never get that compounding growth interrupted, yet you can use your cash for multiple different things. Very, very powerful. If you want to pay this back, of course you could. You can set up any terms that you want. You can do it automatic payments. You can pay them in lump sums. The point is, it's a private contract. It's all about the level of control. You get to pick how and when the money goes and where it goes and when it goes. Very, very powerful here. So this is one of the most fundamentally enticing elements of a leveraged wealth account, is being able to leverage the money whenever you want, purchase other assets. Maybe you're putting this in a piece of real estate that's going to give you a 12% return. Right? So now you are making 4 to 6% compound in your account. You are loaning out at a simple interest rate, and then you're getting another compound interest rate on, or a flat return on investment in some other kind of asset, right? So this is how the wealthy double dip and use their cash as effectively as possible, right? So we didn't change anything. If I want to make a purchase, it's not like I saved more money. I'm still putting the same amount of money in my policy. I'm just moving it in a more strategic way. So this is the advantage of using a life insurance policy as a storage mechanism, because it's not the end investment. It is the warehouse where our lump sum, our cash sits, to then be dispersed out for whatever we want to purchase. Doesn't have to be assets. It could be a vacation. It could be for personal needs, or it could be business related as well.